Okay, all praises be to the Most High God. Ahia is his true name, and the name of Yeshua, whom most out there know as Jesus, but his true Hebrew name, according to the Bible, because Christ was a Hebrew, is Yeshua, our Savior. Okay, we're going into today, we're going to just have the men read out of the law, and the law we'll read today is Exodus, the 20th chapter. Okay, what we'll do is have each person, let me see how many we have here. Okay, we're going to have each read three each, three verses each, and the last brother just read it to the end. All right, you can start off, lawyer. Exodus 20 and 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Now, as you can see, the Most High says that he's the God that brought us out of the land of Egypt. We can have no other gods before him. So in general, just anybody, just talking to our brothers and sisters, why did the Most High say that? Why did he say that? What's going on in the earth at this time?
Many gods.
Thank you. We're coming out of Egypt, and the Egyptians were polytheistic. They believed and worshiped many gods, right? But the God of Israel that delivered us out of Egypt was the God that made all the gods. Even the fallen gods came from him, right? So when we see today in pagan churches, I'm going to show you how they hid their gods. In pagan churches, what they did was the Romans switched it up and turned all these gods into saints that are worshiped in the Catholic churches and in the Orthodox churches. So each saint, when they say Saint Peter, this saint or that saint, they're really the ancient gods of ancient times, right? But our God is the God of all gods. Even when people say Jesus and God and all that in the Christian church, even though they're reading the scriptures, they're still under one of the fallen gods because they're not invoking the true name and essence of the Most High God who delivered us out of Egypt, right? Read on. Okay, we're doing two each, right?
Three.
Three.
Come.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy power, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So what do the Most High mean by visiting the iniquity on the third and fourth generation? Come on, anybody.
He's going to bring the judgment.
The whole thing is, just because you are sinning doesn't mean the sin stops with you. The sin will be generational, where your children will be punished for what you do in the earth. So just because it's not just your sin where you're accountable for, you will be judged for that. But our ancestors and our children, the children of the ancestors, the offspring will also be a part of the curse. That's why we have went through so much hardship as a people throughout the earth. We're suffering the generational curse that came with our fathers breaking this commandment, right? So now the third or fourth generation, these children had nothing to do with what their fathers did, right? No, but they learned the way of their fathers. Therefore, the curse went from generation to generation. You're going to teach the children what you are practicing. And as we go from generation to generation, all of us as a people are actually making a larger chasm between us and the God who delivered us out of Egypt. We're moving further and further away with each generation. So the curse is generational, right? Okay, we're going to go this way. We're going to start over here with Malak and work our way around. Come on.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 6.
Come on.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, right? So the first commandment is what? Not have no other God before him. The second commandment is what?
Graven images.
No graven images. We can't make no image of any person, anything in the earth, no matter where it is, and bow down and worship it. That way, if we do these things, we're worshiping lesser gods, fallen gods, right? The third is what? Remember the Sabbath. Okay, taking the name of the Most High in vain. Perfect example of doing that that we can link to is when people say that Christ was doing things in Satan's name. That's one way of taking his name in vain. Okay. Other people claim that taking his name in vain is saying his name and not hiding his name. That's not what that means. When you do evil in the name of the Most High, you're taking his name in vain also. Okay. He revealed himself for what? So that we can do evil in his sight, under his name, right? The next one is what? Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. We got 6 days and we can do anything we want. So at least remember and uphold and respect the Most High on his holy day. And that's why we're here together. Now you notice the majority of the churches, holy day is what? Is what? Sunday. So what are the Christian churches doing then? They are profaning the Sabbath because they do not acknowledge the Most High Sabbath. Okay? The whole earth should be quiet or reverencing the Most High on Saturday, like we're doing now, not Sunday. Right? Let's get the next one.
Verse 9.
Come on.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Ahia made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested on the Sabbath day. Wherefore Ahia blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Okay. He blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, right? Read on. Who's next? You got it then.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power gives thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth. So if you don't honor your mother and father, you can actually cut down your life expectancy according to scriptures. There's a time that the Most High has given for each man to live. But if you dishonor your mother and father, he'll cut that off. He won't give you your time expected. Right? What was the next law after that? Thou shalt not kill. Now, that means thou shalt not murder. Unjust killing. A person can actually defend themselves if someone is looking to harm them. So it's not speaking of killing per se, but murder. Unjust killing. All right? Who's next?
Exodus chapter 20, verse 15.
Okay.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Now let's examine these laws. Thou shalt not steal. That's self-explanatory. If it doesn't belong to you, don't take it. Right? That also goes into coveting. Some people want to steal because they want what other people have. And instead of working to get it themselves, They look to covet someone else's property. That also falls in the vein of stealing, but it also culminates with the spirit of lust. Okay? Now you want not your own, but what someone else has. You don't want your own wife. You want someone else's wife. You don't want what you have. You want to take what belongs to someone else, right? And another thing is, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Someone give me an example of bearing false witness against thy neighbor.
Lying.
Lying. What's another way in which people believe they are excused when doing it? People do it all the time.
Gossip.
Gossip. When someone say, I heard something. When they start this with, I heard, do they really know what happened? Do they really understand the scenario that they're about? Do they know what they're about to invoke in the earth? They have no idea. Or they claim, someone told me this. Have they witnessed anything? So it has become a normal mainstay amongst us to bear false witness against people and think it's normal. Or have you heard this? Or no. If you want to know what's going on with a person, the best thing to do is to do what? Like Christ said, you go talk to that person. And then you tell them, this is what I'm hearing. Is it true? It may be true. But a lot of times, by the time it gets to one of us, the story has been changed like 30, 40 times. It might be true. So we have to be careful when we're receiving secondhand information and that person is not present. Now, some people feel a certain type of way about me because when I hear something, I'm like, well, hold up. I don't want to hear that. Let me call this person. And then they'd be like, well, hold up. I say this in confidence. Hold up. Why are you getting mad at me? I'm going to make this phone call right here. Or when they come to you and say, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this in confidence. I told this person I wouldn't say anything. Well, why are you telling me that? See, that's how you cut it out. And then they feel like they can't talk to you no time. Well, I don't feel like I can say anything to you. Why? Because I'm not going to receive your gossip. And then you get the other piece of it. When you do contact someone, they feel a certain type of way that you're actually confronting them with something. When you're doing the right thing. There's nothing wrong with if something is wrong, you confront them. They shouldn't feel offended. Like, don't you want to know what's going around about you? I'm confronting you with it. I'm letting you know. And you have an opportunity to talk to me about it. Then we can kill the bearing false witness. Because I'm going to tell you, it's circular. Galatians 6 and 7 say we reap what we sow. And if we're doing it, somebody's doing it to us. It just goes around and round and round, and it's nonstop. Okay? And that's why this lesson we're going to go into is going to actually expose the spirits that have us break these 10 commandments. Let's get the next 3. Come on. Who's next? The next 3 verses is up.
Exodus 20 and 18.
Come on.
All the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood far off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for the Most High is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near to the thick darkness where the Most High was. Verse 22. And the Most High said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with you gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth shalt thou make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I will call my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. Verse 25. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build a hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tune upon it, thou hast polluted it. Verse 26. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto my altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Now, why did the Most High say use stone but not hewn stone when we make an altar?
Because when you shake the stone, you're shaking it to an empty.
Exactly. So he says, you use the stones exactly how I have them in the earth, because he understands the mind of man. You're not just going to hewn it. You're going to start making decorative things. You're going to make it a place of worship. And you're actually undoing the first law he gave you, not to have no other God. So now you're going to hewn this thing. It's my altar, and now you're going to worship it. So he says, no, I don't even want you to take nothing to this stone, because you're going to make an image of it. Right? I used to wonder when I used to look at this, I used to say, hewn stone, why is he saying don't take nothing to it? Don't make unto thee any graven image. Because even if the brother that hewn it didn't make it an image, eventually through time and generation, based on its authenticity and what it means to the people, they'll begin to worship it. Because it's something that was originally made, commanded by the Most High. It will become an altar to be worshiped in the earth. Right? You got that? Okay. I think that no one wants to steal someone else's property. No one wants to covet people. Don't want people lying on them. No one wants to kill people. No one wants these things in their life. No one wants, immorality done to them. So why is it such a pushback in society, and why people look down at the Ten Commandments in the Bible? Why are they shunning the book when all these things we've just read are good? Anyone? Why? No one have no idea why. Why people are saying get away from the book, put down the Bible, and they have the Ten Commandments in it. The moral laws, the laws that makes us civil, moral, respectful. Why? Huh? Yeah.
I would say probably because it's against their programming. Like the Bible teaches against.
Well, we're going to go into that lesson. I just wanted to see what y'all want to say. I'm going to go into it, but I had to reflect on it. I'm like, well, hold up. These things are good. No one don't want anyone lying on them. No one want anyone bearing false witness. No one want, someone to plot to kill them or to kill someone they know. No one want these things. So why is the system, why is our society adamant against it? Why everyone is against the Bible?
It promotes those things.
Huh?
Our society promotes the things.
Yeah, they promote it. But why? They don't want these things in the Bible. They don't want these laws broken against them.
Could it be because
Right?
Could it be because Satan was against this thing the whole time, and being that he fell, and how the scripture said he had fallen to deceive the nations, he wanted to put everybody to. He had created a system to have everybody go against the Bible, being that he was against the whole thing the whole time.
Because he's against the Most High, he set up a system that would be reversed against everything that's written. 100% correct. He's against the Most High, so he's converting or initiating the world into his religion of hatred against the God of gods. And that proves even more the validity and strength of the Bible itself. The Bible have everyone in every system, no matter what religion, no matter what ideology, no matter what lifestyle, everyone in the earth is against the Bible. Because the Bible shines a light on all darkness. I'm going to go there in a minute. But before we go there, one moment. But before we go there, we're going to take that bread and wine. Someone pass that bread and wine around real quick. Because the rest of the world carry baggage and carry spitefulness and hatred against each other as if it's normal. They don't deal with none of their issues in the world. They think it's normal to be totally dysfunctional and not deal with things the way you should. So then their judgment is going to come because why? They never had time to reflect and actually deal with their issues. And I'm saying this because the Bible gives us key information, key source information, so that we can stay healed. And I'm going to tell you that the world do deal with this to some degree, but they do it through psychiatry and psychiatrists. When you don't have to pay money and all that to these guys to hear your issues and talk about where the issue first began and all that, if you took these steps according to the Bible, you don't need no psychiatrist. You don't need to go talk to somebody and get it out. You go to the people you have an issue with. And you're released of that weight, that sickness. Right? Read.
Verse 33, wherefore, my brethren, when ye come together to eat, tarry one for another.
That means wait for one another. Read.
And if any man hunger, let him eat at home.
That means don't come to communion because there's food. You can eat at home. The communion is for something deeper than just getting some food. Some people come and think it's just a party because, okay, what they cooking, who's going to have what? It's not about the food. It's about us coming together as a body and being one. Right? Read.
That ye come not together unto condemnation, and the rest will I set in order when I come.
And Paul says, the rest I'll set in order when I come. Because this church of Corinth, they were dealing with all types of fighting and spatting and things against each other. And Paul was getting letters from the elders. So he would write letters and say, do this until I come. And it will set things right. And then I'll talk about the other issues later. Okay? So hold tight. I'm about to go into the lesson. The lesson today will be called Perilous Times. So hold on.